Welcome back to Easily Explained, where today we will be talking about ecology. So let's get started. So what is ecology? Ecology is the study of interactions among organisms and their environment. Let's go over the many different levels of organization in ecology. First, you have your individual. That's just one organism of any random species. For example, we could have a human, a mouse, a bird, just one organism of any species. Now, from the individual, you go to population. It is a certain species that can breed and reproduce among itself. So that would be like a whole population of humans. Then we start to talk about communities. Communities are all of the living things in one area. For example, you have your population of humans from before, but now you've added in a population of birds. And you can have populations of plants and trees and cheetahs and lions and any sort of living thing that lives in one. From there, you get an ecosystem. Ecosystem is all of your non-living and living organisms. So this is your humans, your birds, your plants, your sunlight, your water, your rocks, and any other non-living. And then from there we start to talk about biomes. Biomes are mostly groups of ecosystems, and they have similar climate and certain dominant species. So these are things like deserts, marine, freshwater, tundra, grassland. These are what we consider biomes. They have similar climates, and it's a group of a bunch of ecosystems. And then you get the biosphere. And you guessed it, the biosphere is the entire Earth. Basically, the entire planet or all life. Now we're going to start talking more about energy. All organisms need energy. Energy is like your basic. Every organism needs it to function normally. So that means that some organisms either make their own energy or they must get it from somewhere else. And the main source of energy is the sun. Most plants that make their own food, their own energy, will get this energy from the sun, but a few will also get it from some other sources. Those being mineral water, hot springs, geysers, and other inorganic chemical compounds. Alright, so we talked about the whole make it or get it thing. But what organisms specifically make their own energy, and what specifically get it from something else? And where do they get it from? So producers or autotrophs are the ones that we associate with making their own energy because they make their own food. So the word autotroph itself means self-feeding. Auto is the self part of it. These organisms use energy from their environments to fuel themselves. Some plants and algae use sunlight, photosynthesis, to convert carbon dioxide to oxygen to make their own food. You can also see some plants that use chemosynthesis. So that's using chemical energy from inorganic molecules, converting them into carbohydrates. And believe it or not, these are actually the largest portion of autotrophs. And then there are your consumers or your heterotrophs. Heterotrophs cannot create their own energy and food for themselves, so therefore they rely on other organisms for energy. And as we start getting into different trophic levels, which are steps in a food chain. We're going to see how the first level is always your your producers, because those are your plants, those are your things that are getting energy from the sun. And then you're going to get your first level, which are going to eat those plants, and these are going to mostly be your herbivores. And then from there on, your carnivores and your omnivores start to eat those herbivores, and the chain continues. So along with these three, we also have detritivores and decomposers. All of these we will start to go over in more detail in the next video. In the next video, we'll also discuss food chains and food webs, and then ecological pyramids, and that's when we start to get into trophic levels and different energy transfers from those different trophic levels. Congratulations, you are now an expert on the first part of ecology. We hope this video really helped, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!